You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
What's going on, guys? It is Wednesday, 8:03 p.m. Central Time here in San Antonio, and I am Drew Yari. This is the Drew Yari Show, aka Wednesday Night Yari, presented on the Wrestling Soup Discord channel. Thank you, Mish. I am Drew Yari, as you know, and with me tonight, making his return back to the show, is Justin. What's going on, Justin?
Not much, man. Live from San Antonio as well. Thank you for having me back on.
Thank you for coming back on. Justin, we talked online a few days ago, and I threw the invitation out to him that, I want Justin to kind of be more part of the show. I invited him onto the ship, and he graciously accepted. So you're going to be seeing Justin a little bit more often on the show. It's good news. We have another great wrestling mind on this show.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And then RJ might join us a little later. He might or might not. I was just talking with Justin. It's kind of a very slow news week as far as wrestling goes. Justin made a good point. Yes and no. I'm fumbling my words. So, with the Triple H era, we have, debuts, re-debuts, starting with last week on Friday for SmackDown, and Will Hobbs just broke a TV in the back, so good for that. On SmackDown, the end of the show had Drew McIntyre coming out, and thanks, babe. And he came out to confront Roman for their match at Clash of the Castle. And he called Roman the tribal queef, which was funny, and comes out and says, I want to fight, Roman right now. Who wants to see me beat up Roman right now? And then he's taking off his shirt. He's about to go in. All of a sudden, you hear Cross's music play, and it's the fucking NXT entrance. It's not the goofy, Mad Max, Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, helmet thing that he's wearing. No. It's the NXT entrance. It's Scarlett. And then Cross comes off camera and just starts attacking Drew. And it was awesome because anyone that listens to the show knows that this is a Karrion Kross, we're pro Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, whatever you want to call him. We're pretty much the unofficial, Killer Kross, fan club. So we're happy to see Kross back. I know there was maybe chatter about Kross coming back. Me and RJ talked about it on our Patreon show that we recorded on Saturday. Give that a listen; it's good shit. And he said he heard a lot more than me. I kind of heard maybe whispers because I know Kross was in town in Nashville for SummerSlam weekend, but that was for the NWA show for Ric Flair's last match, quote unquote, and. He, was putting out feelers saying, you never know where you'll see me next, TikTok, blah, blah, blah. And now Kross is back. I'm obviously happy to see Kross back. That's my boy. It's one of my favorites. That's a guy who even people that weren't particularly fans of his will go, that guy kind of got the wrong end of the stick whenever he went to the main roster, because you put him when he was in NXT, the guy looked like a superstar. The guy had a superstar entrance. He looked like a wrestler, and he had the hot ass girl on his side. And then you put him on the main roster, and they just took everything away from they took everything away that made him special, and for whatever reason decided to give him a weird helmet. And they just went, okay, we're done with you, bye. Now that he's back, it's a do-over. And again, I even see people that weren't even fans of his go, I'm going to give him a chance. So what's your whole opinion about Cross making us come back to the company, and what was your reaction when you first saw him come back?
I thought it was fantastic. It was a shock in a good way because of the fact that Sean Ross Sapp, he reported that Karrion Kross is expected to come back to the WWE very, very soon. And that was Friday afternoon, maybe a couple hours before SmackDown began. And at the end of SmackDown, I thought it was just gonna be like a run-of-the-mill promo, with Drew and Roman. And, just with Drew, Braun with Roman. I thought it was just gonna be like a regular into the episode. As soon as I heard the first notes of Karrion Kross's music, I was like, no way. Like, no fucking way. Like, I was like, there's no way. Because we got the surprise of Bayley returning, now Io Sky, and Dakota Kai coming back at SummerSlam. That was a true mark-out moment because it was out of nowhere. Maybe we thought Bayley was gonna come back, but we were not expecting Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, especially Dakota Kai, because she was, let go from WWE. So when Karrion Kross came back, it was, like I was like a holy shit moment for me. Right. Because of the fact that he came back, Scarlett was with him, with the entrance, with the NXT package, and on top of that, they put him to be a legit badass, legit star, a force to be reckoned with, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Good on you, Triple H, because of the fact that, these guys all got the bad end of the stick, right? We can go through a number of names. We have an entire, we can go through the entire show talking about that, but just know that Karrion Kross was definitely, in my eyes, looking at it a year ago, 2 years ago, right? If you look at it, he was a prototypical Vince McMahon guy, right? He was a prototypical Vince McMahon guy where he was pretty much, 75% character, 25% wrestler, right? He has a great look. He has the look with the girl too as well, right? He's not terrible in the ring, right? He can hold his own in the ring. And he can cut a promo. He can cut a promo too. You would thought that Vince would fall in love with this guy, right? The fact that Vince just, treated him dirty because it wasn't his creation. He didn't come up with the idea. It was very telling that, okay, if you can't make Karrion Kross a star, if you can't build anything up with him, then all hope is lost. And luckily, Vince McMahon is, not there anymore, and now Triple H is there, and now Triple H is bringing guys like, Dakota Kai back and Io Shirai up to the main roster, and you got, Karrion Kross back, and, I'm sure we're gonna talk about it in a second too as well, with Dexter Lumis coming back on Raw. So, to me, it's a much needed guy coming back to the roster. We need more main event caliber type of guys. And with this, with Triple H behind the notepad and, and he's the one that's gonna be booking this guy, and we know that he's gonna be taken care of 100%. I have every faith in the world that Karrion Kross will become a huge star. He's gonna be a future world champion, right? Whether you like him or not, right? You need new stars. There's only so many names on the main roster right now that you can say that is a true legit star, right? You got Roman, you got Seth, you got Riddle, right? Randy, but Randy, he's injured right now. He's coming to a tail end of his career. You got Drew McIntyre. But now it's starting to get a little thin there, right? Like, you can say, yeah, maybe Kevin Owens, maybe Sami Zayn, but they haven't been treated as main event caliber guys. Karrion Kross coming in, main event guy, and I think it's gonna be for the good, not just for him, but better for the company and better for us as fans overall.
Right, and then going back to Kross about his main or his first foray into the main roster. Do you think that was less of a Vince thing and more of a people that were against Triple H thing? Because the talk is that this is kind of something I guess is more well known, is that Kevin Dunn and Triple H don't like each other. Right. And that, Bruce Pritchard, how he keeps his job, how he's managed to get a job, like, everywhere is just crazy. But, like, the idea, the rumor was that, Vince didn't like NXT because it wasn't what he thought of as, I guess, wrestling, or people on there were his idea of what a star should be in wrestling. And the idea was that people like Kevin Dunn and Bruce Pritchard were kind of feeding him ideas, and also John Laurinaitis, which we'll get to too. And they were telling him, this guy Cross, he's maybe not as good as we thought he was. So I think it was more so that Vince was getting his information from other people rather than looking at Cross himself, because I don't know, there's always been those memes of like Triple H at NXT in the back, watching on the monitor, and Vince is just back there like, who's this guy? Like, and like I personally don't think Vince really watched NXT all that much.
Oh no, he did not.
Like, no, he didn't. Like, he was just, and again, he was maybe just getting information fed to him from, a Pritchard, a Kevin Dunn, or a Laurinaitis. So I think that played a lot into Cross's main roster debut, because I'm like with you, it's just like, this guy looks like money. He's like a cross between, pun intended, Batista and Steve Austin. Right. Like he looks like a main eventer. He's not terrible in the ring. He actually looks like a wrestler. He looks like somebody that should be on Vince's television. He looks like the guy who should be main eventing WrestleMania. You can put him in front of Roman Reigns and it'll look right. And, he's got the hot-ass girlfriend. He's got the cool fucking entrance. And it's just like, what the fuck happened? So, now with, Vince gone and Triple H is at the helm, and now and then, again, the news came out, I think it was either today or yesterday, that, Laurinaitis is officially gone. Yeah. And then Kevin Dunn apparently might be leaving pretty soon, too. And it's just a matter of time before Pritchard probably leaves. With Triple H at the helm, he's going to be treating more of his guys, guys like the Crosses, the Dakota Kais, Dexter Loomises. He's going to be putting them more on the forefront, and basically just anyone who Vince McMahon didn't see any value in, you're welcome to come back, and you're going to get a fair shake. So, like, before we get into Raw, what's your whole view on Triple H bringing back ex, WWE stars that were, in his, well, I don't want to say in his system, but like under the guise of Triple H and NXT? Like, do you think there's pros and cons to it?
There's definitely pros and cons to it for sure. I will say more pros than cons, because he showed in NXT, right, that you can have a PG product, right, a PG product that everyone loved, with characters that you can get behind as well, right? Storylines that you get behind. Triple H is all Triple H is. He's all about long-term booking. Mm-hmm. It's all about the long-term bookings, all about the long-term storytelling. And currently right now, that's what he's looking to do, right? He's not looking to, like, replace some of the guys that been there, right? He's not looking to replace a Randy Orton. He's not looking to replace a Drew McIntyre or a Roman Reigns or even a Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? But what he is trying to do is he's trying to make everyone a star in some way or fashion. Just because Ciampa got a United States title shot doesn't mean that he's going to win the world title anytime soon. Maybe Triple H just sees him as a mid-carder, right? But back in the day, or not back in the day, but like current time, I should say, we look at mid-cards as like not necessarily a great thing. Oh, he's just a mid-card, right? Oh, they're just only getting the United States title. You know what I mean? Only if they were going after the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship is where they are considered stars, or they're considered top guys. You can still be a quote-unquote top guy, right, without actually being in that title scene, right? So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to build it back up like it was 1998. Triple H in 1998, when DX was going around, they were a top act.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? They were feuding against the Nation of Domination in 1998 in The Rock. And they were going, and it was just Triple H and The Rock for the Intercontinental Championship. They were still top guys, though. They were still considered top guys in the company, right? Even though that they weren't, going after the WWF Championship at the time. That was late 98 for The Rock, right? They were still considered top guys. They were still considered, as one of the main guys on the roster. That's why I think Triple H is trying to get back to, not necessarily to the Attitude Era as far as, like, the craziness, the storylines, as far as the raunchiness of the Attitude Era, but I think he's trying to bring back elements of the Attitude Era as far as making the mid-card titles seem, something again, right? I mean, and you can see that with this focus of the United States Championship and even the Intercontinental Championship, right? Mm-hmm. He's making a big focus on that. He's making a big focus on the women's division too, as well, right? Bringing back, Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, right?
Yeah. And
they're trying to make these tag team titles a thing, right? So to me, yeah, there's pros, there's cons. Back to your original point. I think the cons is that there's gonna be some established talent that's gonna be felt put off. It's gonna be more guys who weren't really being utilized anyway, who were being used in comedy segments, right? So I'm talking about guys maybe like Dana Brooke, R-Truth, right? Maybe Akira Tozawa, right? But unfortunately, you can't blame themselves for that. All they can really blame is the old guy that had the pen and paper the entire time, which was Vince McMahon. At the end of the day, Vince McMahon made the final decisions. I mean? Yeah, he could take, some guidance from John Laurinaitis and Bruce Pritchard. But at the end of the day, it was Vince. Vince made the final decision, no matter what. You know what I mean? There was no decision that happened on any of these shows without Vince McMahon's approval. So, but I think at the end of the day, though, I think it's just a very much so a positive for not just, the talent, WWE as a whole. And I think at the end of the day, 6 months from now, we're going to see a very much so different WWE. And I think it's going to be something to where that it's going to be a very positive thing, not just for us fans, but just for the talent as well.
I agree wholeheartedly. Like, you hit the nail on the head with the cons is that you're going to have a lot of people mainly, in those comedy spots, with Dana Brooke and R-Truth, that are going to feel like they're left out because, that's one thing I've been noticing on the show for the past 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks is, no stupid 24/7 shit. And I'm fine with that.
He's getting rid of the title. Did you hear about that? That Triple H wants to get rid of the 24/7 belt.
You read my mind. Actually, I was about to say that. Like, I heard Triple H wants to get rid of it, but at the same time, USA, I think, wants it. But I don't know. I think the final decision is up to Triple H, and we all keep saying Triple H. We forget that Stephanie's the one in charge technically. Well, not technically, right. but she is. It's different though because they're married, right? And I really think that Stephanie is like, hey, I know you know what you're doing. Like they talk to each other every night about this stuff. So it's like, hey, take care of it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's gonna be like, hey, run decisions by me, because like if you're a married couple, right? Sometimes you're gonna just, sometimes you're gonna do things on your own, or sometimes you're gonna be like, hey, babe, I'm thinking about pushing, let's just give an example. I'm thinking about pushing Zoe Stark on NXT or whatever, right? You know what I mean? So, yeah, to your point, Stephanie is technically CEO right now, and also with Nick Khan too as well, right? Let's not forget about him. Oh, I was gonna call him Tony Khan for a second, not TK. Yeah. But no, not TK, not the one not the guy that hugs everybody. We'll talk.
But no, but I really think it's a little bit different because of the fact that they're married.
Oh yeah, you're right. Let's talk about Tony Khan for a little bit. Unfortunately, so
okay.
What is it? Was it Ringsiders News? think it was Ringside News had apparently there's a source. Ringside News has learned that Tony Khan's behavior backstage in AEW has become an issue. We were told that he goes overboard in how he talks to the commentary team on their headsets on a regular basis as well. A source with direct knowledge of that situation told us that in the past month, Tony Khan has become impossible for anyone to deal with. It's not just the communication issues with the talent, it's also how he acts on headsets. There's also a few comparisons to Vince McMahon as well, but we're told that Tony is worse. Ugh. People who have worked in WWE say he's much worse on headsets than Vince ever was, and his level of unprofessionalism rivals what it used to be like when Kevin Dunn would start yelling at people and mocking them on headsets. Jesus Christ. So not good old Tony, Justin. Come on, not Tony. Why Tony?
And I'm not defending or anything, but I'm just looking at this fairly. If this is the first time that we're hearing about this, right?
Yes and no.
I haven't heard about this until I think this came out today or yesterday, wherever this came out. This is personally my first time hearing about this. So if it has happened before, correct me, or someone in the chat can correct me. But just looking at it from outside in, right? If you are wearing that headset, right, and you're giving direction, right, you're gonna be a little bit not demanding per se, but at times you may be a little bit of a dick to make sure things are set correctly, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Tony, he needs to kind of he's an analytics person, right? But I don't think he's ever been like a manager or a supervisor or anything of something like that. I think he's just been as far as being a son of a billionaire dad, right? An Alex guy, right? But I don't never think people actually report to him. So, and I may be wrong about that. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, right? But it's just my view of it. So I think he's, handling this for the first time in his life, right? Handling situations like this as far as wanting things done a certain way, right? Mm-hmm. Could he do things better? Obviously, yes, right? And this is just my first time hearing this story, right? But if this has been going on and we're just now getting light of it and he's being compared to Kevin Dunn, then that's not good, because AEW is supposed to be the golden place, right? The place on the other side of the bridge that looks like the Wizard City from Wizard of Oz, right? You know what I mean? Just all happy and nice and all that, right? Mm-hmm. So if for one reason or another that this is actually true and that there's been multiple occasions with this, then that is not going to be good for long term. Not just with the Gorilla Crew, right? Because the Gorilla Crew also the commentary team as well. So this is not a good look for AEW if the story is 100% true.
Well, our good old buddy Tony actually addressed the rumors. He was on Superstar crossover with Josh Martinez. I don't know who that is. Okay. He says, "We have a great crew. We're very happy with the shows we've been doing. We have a great team of people. I recently did some promotions and added to the team with a new group. Hopefully the communication is only going to get better because I can only be in so many places at one time and talk to so many people with such a big team. I think that'll help. In general, I think we have a really great environment and a great backstage." How many times has he said great? Overall, it's been a great summer for us, and it's only going to get better. A lot of the biggest stars in AEW have been out, so it's been great for us to maintain this position. Last week on Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite, #1 show on all of cable. That's been the case 6 out of the last 7 weeks. The kind of consistency has been thanks to our wrestlers, our staff, and most importantly, the wrestling fans that have kept us going. Friday Night Rampage, we did our best number in a long time, being top 5 on Friday on cable. Shit, he has a lot of shit to say. hold on.
Jesus.
Let me just finish this off. There is a lot of really good camaraderie and momentum. I can't get everybody on the show. It's challenging. In some ways, when you have 3 hours of television, I get that. If you're looking at a competitor that has 7 hours of television, the people in that company are twice as likely to be on TV if you look at it that way. It's very competitive for spots, but it also means people have to do the most to maximize the time they get, whatever it is, whether it's on TV or streaming. And I do think our TV show and the participation we've had from our fans and why we all feel so good this year, feel so good there too, is it's great to be back on the road this last year after doing the shows in a lockdown and sometimes empty stadium. Overall, I think the vibe is positive and we're all really excited. It's a big time of the year for AEW with All Out coming up, one of the biggest events of the year on the calendar, and we approach one of our biggest TV event of the year coming up to New York for AEW Grand Slam.
You know what that reminds me of? Anytime when Khan mentions about, hey, we're number one in cable, hey, we were top 5 in this, whatever. You know what that reminds me of? Reminds me of WCW. Because they talked about that all the time. Anytime when you used to watch an old night, like you guys could go back and watch if you guys have the network on Peacock.
Peacock?
Peacock? Yeah, Pinkcock. Yeah, that's cock is pink. But if you watch a lot of the Nitros from, I will say like between 97, 99, they will always talk about, like, we were on number one cable last week. We beat the and back then they just didn't give a damn. Yeah, we beat the WWF in the Reigns and da-da-da-da. So it kind of reminds me of that. And I'm really trying to think, maybe during the Monday Night Wars, but I cannot think of when WWE really talked about, hey, we're number one in cable. We were top 5. Much. Well, they do that. Hey, we're training worldwide, but I'm just talking about as far as like the actual ratings. I can't think of when WWE has done that since the Attitude Era. But the fact that AEW keeps reminding everybody doing that, that's just kind of like, hey, you guys are, like, it sounds small league to me. Even though it's not, right? Even though it's not, they're not small league, but it kind of sounds small league. It kind of sounds like, hey guys, I know you guys are watching WWE and WWE gets more viewers than us, but hey, remember guys, we were number 1 on cable last week. It's like, it's kind of cheap. It's kind of cheap.
Demos. I've always said, like, with the demos, and I think I told RJ this on occasion, it's like when you try to when the ratings are under 1 million and you're barely scraping 900,000 and you try to say demos, but the demos, guys, it's like when your mom used to tell you that you're not fat but you're husky. Like, that's you're trying to find something that makes you feel good about yourself, and it's just like, right. Again, I'm not in television, so shoot me over this, but it's just like, the demos don't matter. I'm like, maybe they matter in some aspects, but it's just like, I don't know. Raw got 1.9, which is actually less than what they got last week, and I think SmackDown got 1.9 or something. That's still more than 0.9 than what AEW got. So I get it. Tony has to be the big cheerleader of AEW, has to rah rah rah, but it's at the point where it's just like, and I have the show on right now. I mean, AEW just hasn't been interesting, lately. I mean, with Punk out, with, Danielson came back, but now he's feuding with Daniel Garcia for whatever reason. And
what's really hurt them is MJF being gone. That's what hurts. Yeah. That's what's hurting them right now.
So I guess we can segue into that. So the talk, one of the big rumors is that MJF is apparently trying to get out of his contract. Like, his contract is supposed to expire in 2024, but he's looking to get out. Like, he actually wants to get out, and, he's looking at WWE, he's looking at Triple H in charge, and, he wants to go there. And another name that came up was Jonathan Gresham, which I'm just like, no thanks. But MJF to me is just, he's tailor made for WWE because I don't think people remember this. He actually auditioned for Tough Enough.
Oh yeah,
and
he's Michael Jacob Feinstein.
Like he auditioned for that, and that was like probably before he started, getting trained by Kurt Hawkins. For or was it Creator Wrestler or Creator Pro Wrestler or whatever?
Career Pro or something like that.
Yeah, and I think he's always looked at WWE as like, that's where I want to go. I at least want to say that I went to WWE. I mean, shockingly enough, a lot of wrestlers in the indies, everywhere else, like their main goal is to go to WWE. Like, I know that sounds shocking. Even guys like Jericho, had said that his main goal was always to go to the WWE, and he succeeded. So, MJF under that WWE system, especially with Triple H there, I mean, is he going to be, is he going to be in the main event of WrestleMania? Maybe or maybe not, but I think he could thrive. He can be his character. He probably won't be able to be too vulgar on the mic, but I don't think he needs to. I mean, I think he could still be himself without having to drop F-bombs and, say shit every 5 minutes. He can still be himself. He can talk shit, and that's just him. He's the shit talker. One of many reasons why I like MJF is that he doesn't have to be a cool heel. He's just an asshole. But at the same token, right, he never has to feel, he needs to cross that line of being like homophobic or racist. He just goes in there and talks shit. His whole thing is, I'm better than you, you know it. I hate poor people. I fuck bitches. Like, that's basically his whole thing. He's a jock. He's a rich jock. So for him to go to WWE is just like, at this point, it's only a matter of time. I know there's apparently a rumor someone started that he might show up at AEW tonight. I don't know how, but I mean, I don't know, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we see MJF in the Rumble next year, or maybe before Mania. But what do you think about MJF?
Well, I mean, I know we just mentioned that he. You're not too sure how you'll show up tonight. We'll find out after his match, because this match started super early, and if they're gonna build, because they only got few more weeks before All Out, and they don't have a world title match as of yet. Is Punk coming back? Is MJF coming back? Right, to beat Moxley, and it'll be MJF versus CM Punk when CM Punk gets back. Right, that'll be something I would like to see. If we don't see MJF, we'll say in the next month or so, it's very likely he may be leaving. Because you're not going to keep him off TV for... How long has he been off TV now? For like a month and a half almost now? Yeah. I mean, he's been on TV for close to a month and a half now. And you still have yet to bring him back. To me, I think that it's gonna get not the flame is not gonna be out because he left so hot, right? Anytime whenever MJF comes back to AEW, or if he does, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be something. If he doesn't come back within the next month, and I'm being very generous when I'm saying a month. If he doesn't come back within the next month, then the likelihood of him coming back is going to dwindle. Will you appear at the Rumble? I don't know, right? But to me, he has every right to feel the way that he's feeling right now, right? Everyone, no matter what, to your point, dreams about becoming a professional wrestler, wants to go to WWE. If you live in America or in North America or even in England, right? Or in the United Kingdom, your goal is to make it to WWE. If you're a pro wrestler, you want to go to WWE, like, period. So, the fact that MJF has this opportunity to go to WWE with Triple H in charge right now, knowing that Triple H will let him be him to the first extent, right? Not necessarily with cussing or anything like that, but just letting him be him. He doesn't have to worry about Vince McMahon being like, you're not gonna be MJF you're gonna be LJF. Like no, like you know what I mean? Like no, no. So anyway, I think the chances of him going to WWE is high. Will it be in 2023? I don't know. Will it be in 2024? I don't know, right? But he will be in WWE during his career. That's going to happen. He will be in WWE. Fairly confident about that. And who is MJF's quote unquote best friend? Who is he very close with?
Cody.
Cody, right? Mm-hmm. If he's seen Cody being utilized, and most likely Cody's gonna become a WWE champion, right? Mm-hmm. And once he becomes world champion, that's gonna be a signal for MJF to be like, you know what? God damn it, I need to get over there. And once he gets over there, floodgates are gonna open, because guess who else may want to go over there? Wardlow. Can you imagine Wardlow under Triple H's control? Can you imagine Jade Cargill under Triple H's control? Can you imagine, Ricky Starks under Triple H's control? There's a lot of opportunity for more AEW guys to come over to WWE, and there's gonna be more. There's gonna be WWE guys that may want to go to AEW. This is a great, fantastic position right now for everyone in the wrestling business, because they're getting work. They're getting work, and they're gonna be going back and forth between AEW and WWE. Now, honestly, right now, I'd rather be in WWE than AEW, just because of the fact that I know my TV deals are pretty much going to be guaranteed, right? I don't ever see a situation like, in 2027, WWE's not going to be on TV, ever. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
But maybe in 2027, maybe AEW won't have a TV deal, right? I hope that doesn't happen. I really don't, because I like AEW.
Well, I mean, there's a good chance by before the end of the year they might not have a TV deal.
That's true. So, but if that does happen, right? Because you gotta think about it this way, right? 2001, WCW shuts down, ECW shuts down, right? What was out there, right? Yeah, TNA, right? Yeah, they weren't competitive with WWE. They were a good alternative, but they weren't competitive, right? AEW is somewhat competitive, still not better than WWE as far as like world ratings, but they have the whole demographic. They have a great following. They have a bigger following than what TNA did in 2002, 2003, 2004, right? But this is the biggest competitor to WWE since WCW, and if they go away, right, to me that's going to end up hurting business more than helping. So I hope they still have a TV deal, right? By all means, I'm not pro AEW, I'm not pro WWE, I'm just pro good wrestling, right? But there are some things about AEW that I don't like, and for example, Moxley's wrestling Jericho right now. You know what I mean? Moxley's bleeding again. How many times he's gonna bleed? He bleeds every fucking match. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Great wrestler. I like blood and stuff, but like, I don't want to see you bleed every match. I didn't know this is on 2K22 and blood's on all the time. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, just with MJF, I really think that he will be in WWE. When? Who knows? But he will be in WWE at some point. To me, the sooner the better. That's just me being selfish. The sooner the better. But yeah, he'll make his way to WWE, and WWE's going to use him as a huge star. He's going to be one of the top heels. He's probably going to be one of the biggest heels since whoever you want to name, right? He's going to be a guy known as one of the best heels in that company, in its history, if done correctly.
So you brought up an interesting point about contracts, and I just randomly Googled AEW wrestler contracts. So let's see who we got here.
Okay.
AEW.
Yeah, go down the list. I would love to hear about this.
All right, here we go. Come on. Trying to open it up in Google. All right, here we go. AEW contracts.
This is all accurate.
AEW contracts. Adam Cole, his contract expires in 2027. I'm just going to look at main eventers. I'm not going to give a shit about anyone else. Andrade's contract expires June of 2024.
coming back.
Uh,
WWE.
this is interesting. Billy Gunn says that he has 2 separate contracts with AEW and as a coach and a performer. So
Okay.
I'm not seeing when his contract expires, but I think it's more so with his boys. I think when their contract expires, he's going to take them to WWE. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Brian Cage, his contract expires early 2023.
Oh, who cares? I
Yeah.
don't care about that.
I think they've tried with Brian Cage and they just realized he's really not that good. So, Brian Danielson, his contract expires July of 2024. He's going back.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna. I think Brian just wanted to get out what he wanted to get out as far as like having those hard fought matches, and he's gonna wrestle in Japan. I think between now and this contract ending, once that ends, once he gets out of the system, he may retire, or he may come back for like one final run in WWE.
Me and RJ talked about this. Like, if he comes back, I mean, fuck, make him a coach. Like, make him a coach.
Yeah.
NXT.
Like if he goes back to WWE, it's gonna be long term. Yeah, he's gonna be a coach. He's gonna be an agent. He's gonna be down there in Orlando. Oh yeah, 100% sure.
Can you imagine Brian Danielson teaching you how to wrestle? Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness, man.
Chris Jericho, January of 2024. He'll come back for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, he's coming back. That's like a no brainer. He's coming back.
And he also gotten, as Jeff Lippman calls it, the Stanford diet. He got himself in shape. So he's coming back. Christian Cage, March of 2024. He'll come back.
Not in the Hall of Fame yet.
Yeah,
Not in the Hall of Fame yet.
Well, I mean, like they'll bring him back as like Edge and Christian in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Why not? See, CM Punk re-signed back in July. Yeah, CM Punk's not coming back, so we're not even gonna bother with that.
He's 100% coming back. Like no, I'm just kidding. No, he'll never come back ever.
Especially with Triple H. So no. Who else? Ethan Page, December of 2024. I mean, he's a good talker. He's not terrible
he's
in the ring.
Enough. I think he's young enough to get a shot in, and he's not even being like he should have at least been in a couple of pay-per-view matches by now. The fact that he's not being utilized because he's a good talker, he's a decent wrestler too as well. It's criminal to me.
Here's an interesting name: Kenny Omega, February 1st, 2023.
2023.
So let me. All right. So Kenny Omega is. I think Kenny Omega is somebody that WWE has sorely wanted for years. Like, because they wanted AJ for years and they got AJ, and now you got Kenny. So a lot can happen from now until February because I'm just saying it like this. We thought Cody was going to be a WWE lifer. We didn't think Cody was going to leave the way he did. I mean, and Cody, well, he didn't say it out loud, but like, his relationship with Kenny Omega, what they weren't like, close or like, best friends, but they got along. So, especially with a guy like Triple H in charge, like, do you think Triple H sees Kenny and goes, that's the guy I want on my team? Like, do you see Triple H wanting to go after Kenny Omega?
Triple H is all about pro wrestling, and if you can get one of the best pro wrestlers in the world, debatably, right? Like you can debate about like his his in-ring work, or you can debate about like his selling, his storytelling, but to say that Kenny Omega is a bad wrestler, like in-ring wrestler, you're fooling yourself, in my opinion, at least. I think Triple H will want to go after Kenny Omega. Now, February 2023, it has to be a drastic change between now and February next year for Kenny Omega to leave AEW. I know we said about, hey, Cody, with him leaving or whatnot, but Cody was a WWE guy from before. that wasn't. I mean, it was shocking, yes. When that music hit, it was shocking, yes. But it wasn't 100% shocking because we've seen guys came back before. This will be truly shocking to me because the outsider who's never been in WWE before coming into WWE, this will be like AJ Styles level shock for me, right? So, and it happened, yes. Would I want to see it happen? Absolutely, just because of the fact that I want to see him wrestle guys that we haven't seen wrestled either in a very long time or at all. Seth Rollins, a healthy Big E, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, right? Like, oh my God, can you imagine, a match with Roman and Kenny Omega? The mic work on Roman's side, just burying Kenny Omega, you couldn't hack it, and you thought you were elite, but I'm here now, and I'm in God mode. Wherever the hell Roman's gonna say, because Roman's gonna just end up burying Kenny on the mic. But that's something I want to see. I just want to see how Kenny Omega can overcome that adversity. So I can definitely see him coming into WWE. Will it be 2023? I'm leaning towards no. I hope I'm wrong about that, but I'm leaning towards no, that him coming into WWE in 2023. I think he may do like a 1 or 2 year extension with AEW.
Right, and also Kenny surprisingly has been very complimentary towards wrestlers in WWE. Like he said,
he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy because he knows that he doesn't want to burn any type of bridges. He always wants to keep that door open.
Right, like he's always said, my dream match is against AJ Styles at Mania. He says, I want to wrestle John Cena. I want to wrestle Roman Reigns. I love Big E. I think he's a star. So I don't know. Like, a lot can happen from now until February. You never know where Kenny's going to show up. Like that. And again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm like a Kenny Omega guy, but it's just like, I don't know. Like, to see Kenny in the WWE, especially under this new regime with Triple H, it'd be interesting. I'm just gonna say it like that. It'd be interesting to watch, and like you said, it'd be a shocker because it's like the outsider, the guy that is touted as the greatest wrestler or the wrestling artist, of all time, is now in the WWE, and he's now in sports entertainment. He's under this banner, so it'd be interesting to watch, but it also wouldn't shock me if he signed an extension with AEW. So we'll just leave it at that. Next is Keith Lee. He signed a multi-year deal, so it's anywhere between 20
for a while.
Yeah, I don't think he'll come back personally. I think by the time he comes back, he'll be too old. I mean, he's already proven that he can't get in shape and lose the weight. I don't even think Triple H can bring that out of him. So, next is Malachi Black, 2027.
Oh yeah, that's years away.
Well, I mean, I'll say it like this: it's like with Adam Cole. Him and Adam Cole have the same deal. I'm just gonna say it like this: contracts can always be broken. Like, Adam Cole can easily just say, "I want out of my contract. I don't want to be here anymore." Kind of like with MJF. MJF is supposed to his contract is supposed to expire in 2024, and for all we know, he's working on getting out of his deal. So contracts can always be broken. So you never know what could happen. That's all right. Next is
the fact that these deals are so long too as well is kind of, to me, asinine because of the fact that you signed Malachi Black, and what was it, like 2021 when you debuted is all the way to 2027, right? And you're not, and there's no guarantee about TV deals in 2027. Like, that is reckless, very reckless.
Yeah, especially for a new company to assign people to these really long-term deals, especially with the possibility of you don't even know if you're going to be on television next year. So. Next is another controversial name, the Young Bucks.
I can't see, the Young Bucks to me is more shocking than Kenny Omega because if what was it? What was the date for them?
2024. They originally, I'm reading it right here. I'm going to read it right here. So they originally signed a 4-year deal. An extension clause triggered to extend the deal. So the date I have listed is just January 2024.
Okay, so yeah, that'll be even more shocking to me if now I'll put it to you this way. So if the Young Bucks, so that's January 2024, and Kenny Omega is February 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kenny goes, the Bucks go. Kenny goes, and it goes well because he'll be there for a full year. Bucks will end up going.
That would be.
That's my personal opinion.
I agree. Like, because you put the Young Bucks in the WWE, it's like, in my opinion, I think they're tailor made for WWE just solely based on they are just like they're goofy. They like to do the super kick party shit, and they like to do the shticky, comedy shit. And I don't know, like it wouldn't be something that's totally too shocking, but it would be shocking enough. It would be even more shocking than Omega. And you brought up a good point. If Kenny goes, Young Bucks go.
Yeah. Especially because if Kenny goes and he's successful, guess what match they can do?
the Bloodline versus the Elite.
Oh, okay. So you got that, but I was thinking more of 6 friends coming together. I'm thinking of the Elite versus the New Day.
Yeah,
they're all friends.
That too. Mm-hmm.
They're all friends. Now, hopefully Biggie, he fully recovers and, all that. To me, I think that if Kenny goes, because him and Xavier, they're great friends, and I think the talking point WWE is like, hey, hey, come on over here, you and Xavier, y'all can have y'all's YouTube channel or whatnot. You know what I mean? We'll promote it, we'll make it big and this, that, and the other. And the fact that Xavier and Kenny will just have their own YouTube channel together, and they'll just be, just fucking around on there, right? You know what I mean? How is that not appealing to Kenny, right? And you already know his merchandise is gonna be sick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, despite what you think about Kenny Omega as a wrestler, he has pretty good merch for the most part. It's not nothing groundbreaking, but WWE, I think they're probably like, making it something very good. So, but yeah, no. If Kenny goes, the Bucks go to WWE. And
just another thing, it's like, you talked about merch. If they end up going, if Kenny ends up going and the Bucks, goddamn well they're gonna push him right to the fucking moon. Especially Kenny, because I think Kenny is someone who they've always wanted. Like, they have been trying their hardest to get him. And anytime they have a chance, anytime a contract comes up, they're like, oh, let's try and get him. Let's try to woo Kenny. And the Bucks, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H has been interested in the Bucks. Because they do the suck it, they do the too sweet. Yeah. And again, just like Kenny,
they can be able to do it again.
They're gonna what?
They can be able to do it again because it won't.
Oh yeah,
because they'll be in WWE.
Oh yeah, and like Kenny, they're gonna push him. They're gonna push him right to the fucking moon. Like, their merchandise is gonna sell well. Same with Kenny. So I mean, it's interesting. It's just it's fantasy booking. Because we're wrestling fans. Oh
my god! Sorry to interrupt, but you got Dynamite on?
Yes. Wait, don't say it. I don't know if mine is like behind you or ahead of you.
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying nothing.
Wait, let me figure this out on my own. So who came back?
Okay.
CM Punk. Okay, CM Punk's back.
So Punk's back. So that means it's gonna be Punk versus Mox. It's like, so yeah, Punk, yeah, he's moving well, right? I know you haven't got to that point yet, but he's moving pretty well.
Yeah, he's moving to the ring, and he looks that foot looks like it's okay. Punk versus Mox though.
I mean, it was You know.
So
If they're gonna do Punk versus Mox, I could see Punk winning, then MJF coming back at All Out. If that's what they're going with, that's what I'm seeing. That's why I'm seeing the lines coming together on that one. Mox versus Punk. Punk wins. MJF comes back at All Out to challenge Punk.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad. I mean, because as much shit as I give Punk, and this is more of just like, well, I mean, I guess it's more well-rounded, you know, because I have not been a fan of Punk since he came back. I've not been a fan of his matches. And I say that, and at the same time, it's like his stuff usually is the best stuff out of the whole show, because he doesn't do the crazy, you know, flips, kicks, whatever you want to call it. Like, he actually goes out there and has a wrestling match, so I'll give him that. And just him as a person online, that's another story. But I liked his stuff with MJF. I enjoyed it. It was probably one of the better parts of the show, and now him and Mox are staring at each other. So,
did you just see them do the Rock Hogan?
Oh God!
Get the crowd thing.
I mean, I have it on mute, so I can imagine the whole place is going nuts. It's Minnesota, so Minnesota's and Mox flipped off Punk. How edgy! But yeah, it looks like our all out main event.
Okay. I was gonna be very worried if we didn't get that tonight. Okay, they have a direction. Punk's back. Just for the love of God, don't have the man wrestle between now and All Out if they're smart.
Oh yeah, like make sure he doesn't do anything too physical, and just for the love, just if I'm Tony Khan, tell Punk, from now on, don't jump into the crowd anymore. Just don't.
Well, not even that. Just don't have him wrestle. Like, don't have him wrestle. Don't have him, like, to your point, don't be too physical. If you have him wrestle, and let's say if he's like 80%. Let's say if he's like 80%. He's not 100%, but he's 80%. But he's good enough to like wrestle, right? And he wrestles, and like something happens to his foot again. Oh, you're super fucked.
All right, let's finish up
like,
this.
With no lube. Super fucked.
Super fucked. No lube. Alright, so Punk's back, so, you know, good. Let's finish up this list real quick. Samoa Joe, end of 2023, he's coming back. That's true.
End of 2023, if he does come back, I can't see him wrestling.
Well, yeah, like I don't think he'll wrestle. He'll probably just be like an agent, producer, coach.
He'll be an agent, but yeah, I don't see him as a. I mean, maybe he'll do like a couple one-offs, but nothing huge.
Right now, so he's he's a Triple H guy, and I don't think he even wanted to leave in the first place. Like he left because
didn't want to leave.
He's like WWE doesn't want me, so I got to go somewhere else. And then just that first night of him in AEW, just where he's awkwardly shaking hands with Tony. Like that was just that was fun to watch.
And he hasn't really been wrestling on AEW. He only wrestles for ROH, and it's only the title matches. It's like he's not even on the shows. Why did you sign Samoa Joe if you're not even gonna like use him?
When was the last time he was even on television?
Don't know.
The last time I saw him was when they were doing that Owen Hart thing, tournament where he, wrestled Adam Cole. That's the last time I remember seeing him.
I think that may have been the last time.
Jesus. Alright, so let's get into Raw. Monday Night Raw was good. Like, it was actually good. Like, Raw lately under the Triple H regime has been really fucking good. Like, it's the matches flow so much better because, there's talk of Triple H, he's telling the talent, just go out there and call everything in the ring. Like, don't choreograph everything. Don't remember spots. Just have a wrestling match. And it's working. I mean, he apparently told Drew and Sheamus to do that, and they ended up having a really fucking good match. And, the promos, they don't seem like they're being rehearsed. It doesn't seem like the talent is giving some type of monologue where they're being held hostage, as Jim Cornette would say. Like, it actually seems like they're talking, like they're actually giving I don't want to say a heartfelt speech, but like they're actually giving a wrestling promo. Goddamn, what a concept. So, yeah, Monday Night Raw was pretty good. It began with who was it? Angelo Hawkins versus Seth Rollins. Rollins won the match. Hawkins, to me, he's really improved in the ring. Like, we talk about Montez, and rightfully so, because Montez is really good. But Hawkins, I'm glad to see Hawkins has kind of taken that, that inspiration of like, oh, you think Montez is good? Oh, I said Hawkins. God damn it. Thank you, Lightning. It's Dawkins, not Hawkins. But Dawkins...
Oh my god, you did say Hawkins, and I'm over here just letting you botch that, like...
Angelo Hawkins. No, Dawkins. Dawkins is just really goddamn good. He's improved. It looks like he's slimmed down a little bit. I'm still not crazy about the whole basketball, get up that he wears, and I mean, to his credit, maybe that's the only thing that's flattering for him, but Dawkins just really goddamn good, and the fact that he was able to hang with Seth Rollins is just showing how impressive he is. So, what did you think about the match, if you watched it, and what do you think about Dawkins? Jesus Christ. What do you think about Dawkins?
Yeah.
What do you think about Dawkins as a talent in general?
Well, first off, Dawkins, if you notice, he didn't wrestle without a shirt on.
Okay.
Oh, what does that tell you? That tells you that Vince McMahon's no longer around, because Vince McMahon, you can tell like he body shames people, right? So had Keith Lee wear a shirt because he thinks he's too fat for TV. Had Shinsuke Nakamura wear his little jumpsuit or whatnot because he doesn't have a body for TV, right? That's what Vince McMahon thinks. So if you're noticing now, Shinsuke Nakamura doesn't wear a shirt no more. He's back to regular Shinsuke now, right? Hawkins is not wearing a shirt either. That's a big indication. So with little things like that, I think that's going to be big for the roster. But anyway, back to the match. It's a very damn good match. Seth Rollins is he's not being appreciated as much as I think he is, right? Because he went into WrestleMania, lost to Cody or whatnot, and he lost to Cody, 3 straight times or whatnot. But damn, man, Seth Rollins, man, he's definitely the MVP for me in 2022. Like, he's that damn good. Hawkins in this match, he's been good for a while. He's been getting better, right? When I first saw him with Street Profits and NXT, I was like, okay, I'm like, oh, this Montez guy, he has potential. This Dawkins guy, man, he's very green. And, with his experience now, he's very damn good. He's turned himself into a damn good wrestler. And with Triple H, being head of creative now, I'm less concerned about his spot now rather than Vince was running it. If Vince was running it, he would have been in Future Endeavor probably about 2 or 3 months after the Street Profits break up. You know what I mean? But man, Dawkins, man, he's improving a lot, man. I don't see him as a world champion or anything like that, but man, United States champion, IC champion, I can see that. I can see that in his future. You know what I mean? Have a good little 2, 3, 4 month reign as a IC champion or a United States champion. Build a story around that, right? And that's nothing bad, right? Because as we were talking about earlier, that Triple H is gonna make the mid card mean something again. And whenever he, let's say he becomes a singles guy and he does end up winning a mid card title at some point, you know what I mean? It's gonna be huge for that time. But yeah, no, great match. It wasn't as good as Rollins and Montez, but still a great match, I thought. And it's a very good showcase of that. Yeah, to your point, yeah, Dawkins is going to be a credible star once he becomes a single star on the main roster.
All right, moving on, you got Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens. This is a squash match. Kevin Owens came out and just destroyed Ezekiel, beat the fuck out of him, powerbombed him on the apron. Ezekiel being carted off. I guess 2 questions. So, with Triple H being in charge, what do you think this means for Kevin Owens? As far as because me and RJ talked about it, where goddamn well Kevin Owens is going to be fucking pushed. Like he is going to
yeah.
be, like he's going to be the star that we always wanted him to be. And I'm a Kevin Owens supporter. I love Kevin Owens. I don't know how you feel about Kevin Owens. I don't think I ever asked you, but like to me, he's just like, you know, I've seen his Ring of Honor stuff. I've seen his indie stuff, you know, and then I look at his WWE stuff, and it's just like, that Kevin Steen would be a lot better with this Kevin Owens in WWE, and it looks like that's what we're getting. We're getting Kevin Steen and not Kevin Owens. So, my first question, is just about Kevin Owens in general. So, what do you see for Kevin Owens under the new Triple H regime?
I love Kevin Owens, man. Loved him since his Ring of Honor days. It looks like to put it short, I know you said, we're getting Kevin Steen back. We are. We're getting 2015 Kevin Owens back when he first debuted on Raw against John Cena, cutting that promo on him. Getting NXT Kevin Owens. We're getting the Kevin Owens that debuted in NXT to immediately turn heel on Sami Zayn, powerbombing him on the apron, right? Mm-hmm. I think it was at NXT or Evolution. I believe that was the show, but that's who we're getting back. I cannot wait to see it. This is going to be a slow burn, right? This is going to be somebody that's going to be built up over time, right? I say around this time next year, Kevin Owens may be a world champion. Oh, that's why I'm seeing here. I'm giving this a year to see what they do with him. He needs to be a world champion. He was only Universal champion once. I think he was the second Universal champion, and it didn't end well. His reign sucked.
I thought his. I'm sorry to cut you off. I thought his reign was pretty. I thought his reign was pretty good, but then, they just sacrificed him to Goldberg.
Yeah, I think what it was is that, like, and this is what WWE does all the time, in the Vince McMahon era, that it's basically your champions don't win matches. If you're a champion, you're not gonna win matches on Raw or SmackDown. You're gonna win your matches on the pay-per-view. So I just thought that he was a weaker champion than what I wanted to be from what his potential was. So, but I'm excited. Raw. I trust Triple H to do right by Owens, and he's a guy that deserves it as well. I mean, he freaking wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin, at WrestleMania, right? So that he can carry a feud. That he can carry his work in promo ability and in the ring as well. So, giving him a real shot at the, at a championship and let him just cut loose on promos. He's a guy that you do not need to give any bullet points for promos. Just let him go out there. He knows what he's doing, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for Kevin Owens. Very excited.
And then he cut a backstage promo with interview Kevin, I think it was the Irish guy, where basically just saying what we were saying. The real Kevin Owens is back, and so with Ezekiel, do you think this is pretty much the end of that character, and pretty soon we're going to get Elias back?
Yes.
All right, moving on.
It's too hokey.
Right, because like I put out a tweet where I was just saying, Ezekiel was a lot of fun until it wasn't, and now it's just time to bring back Elias. So next is it was Finn Balor, Rey Mysterio. Earlier in the night, there was a backstage segment with the Mysterios and Edge, where Dominic was pissed off at Edge for sparing him, even though Edge said it was an accident, and Dominic shoved Edge, and Ray had to calm him down, and Dominic's like, "You're taking his side over mine. You've known me for 25 years. You only know him for 20 years or whatever." Ray said, "I've known him for 20 years. You can trust him, but you know me for 25 years." Or I think he said 26,
yeah.
But like, so we're getting the Dominic, heel turn, which we'll see how that turns out. So Ray and Finn had a match. Finn wins after distraction when Rhea is... Maurice is saying 25. All right, thanks, Maurice. Rhea brings out Dominic, and they're not going to do like Crimson Blood like fucking AEW does. So they're going to do what they can, but like it looks like colored on bruises and cuts. So with this Dominic heel turn, let me ask you something. So, like, a lot of people are kind of interested in the idea of Dominic being, you know, like a simp for Rhea, where he not only joins Judgment Day, but like he pretty much becomes Rhea's bitch. Like, Rhea tells him what to do, you know, attack your father for me, do it for me, you know you want to, like, do something like that. Like, what do you think about the possibility of that being Dominic's new character?
I mean, I wouldn't like that, just because of the fact that that's usually for a heel turn. So usually for a heel turn, you want to make the person that's turning heel better off going forward and stronger. This, to me, it won't make him weaker, but it doesn't move him any direction. It will just make him more of a Power Rangers villain, right? I mean, just somebody that's not gonna, you know, move forward, right? Not gonna get, someone that I don't think that will benefit for that, right? Now, if you make him heel and he joins Judgment Day, and it's more of like, hey, hey, Dominic, you know, your dad, he would never ever give you a mask. He would never ever give you a mask. We're gonna give you your own mask, and he's donned a new mask, and he's gonna be under a hood now at that point. And I think that's, you know, and I think that'll be a very good way for him to get a mask in WWE. Overall, though, I mean, you know, I won't say I don't like Dominic, but I think he is still young. He's still raw. I honestly, if you want to be 100% honest, I just want him to go to NXT. Just go to NXT. You know, take him off TV for 2 months. You know, have him bulk up a little bit. You can tell he's not really bulked up. Have him bulk up a little bit and just give him a brand new gimmick with a mask. And just be like, hey, I'm Dominic Mysterio. I've been away for a few months, and my dad's Rey Mysterio, and he gave me this mask, and blah blah blah, and just start from scratch. You know what I mean? Because this current iteration of Dominic right now is not it. It's not it at all.
I mean, I kind of disagree with the whole going to NXT, because I think at this point it's a little late for that. Because honestly, I think they should have just done that to begin with, because, you know, they said not Dominic was training with Rey, and to me, it's just like, for someone like Rey, who came up the way he came up, because, you know, he had his first wrestling match when he was 15, and he knows how, you know, the wrestling business works. So I would think Rey would tell Dominic, you know, go to the Indies, go to Mexico, go to Japan for like 2 or 3 years, 4 years, and just learn how to wrestle, get better, and then come to WWE. Instead, you know, he's already hot-shotted in a program with Brock Lesnar. And, like, he's been in the company for, 3 years? It's going to be 3 years already.
3 years, yeah.
And he has not improved at all. Like, maybe I'm being a hater, but it's just like, he has not improved one bit. I don't know if maybe he has, like, a body dysmorphia thing, or maybe he just can't get physically bigger. I'm not saying I want him to take roids or something, but like, it's like,
take the steroids.
Take the goddamn steroids, kid. No, like, he just, I don't know what his issue is, but like, he doesn't have a good look. Like, my problem with Dominic mainly is that he tries to wrestle too much.
He's sort of like Eddie Guerrero now with that mullet.
Right, and it's just like, he tries to wrestle too much like his dad, instead of, and it's kind of like a jokey thing, but he wrestles too much like his dad instead of wrestling like his fake dad. You know, Eddie. If he wrestled like Eddie, I think I could maybe be more forgiving. But it's just like, I don't know how tall he is, but like, he tries to wrestle too much like his dad. It doesn't look right. And I don't know, like, I personally, the idea, like, I know where you're saying, like, you know, make him a heel and make him, I guess, a little bit more, like, sympathetic, but he's just not good. Like, even if he was a heel, I don't see him ever improving. So the idea of him maybe becoming a simp to Rhea, and like, CM Goof posted in the chat, you know, be a good boy and beat up your father for your mistress. Like, that would be so fucking fun. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I just don't think that If this was still handled by Bruce Pritchard, Vince, Laurinaitis, haven't done to the extent right, I agree. I can't really see that Triple H do, and maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe Triple H can make it interesting, but I just think that's a little bit too. Not it's something. I don't think that's something that Triple H would do personally, but
Right.
I may be wrong. If he does do it, I'm intrigued because I respect Triple H's decisions and I believe in what he can do, but I just don't think that something like that is something that Triple H would do.
Yeah, fair enough. Next is one of the matches for the women's title tournament, or women's tag team title tournament. You have Dana Brooke and Tamina versus Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Sky and Kai won the match. Indeed, Sky and Kai won the match, and they move on. Let's see, and well, what'd you think about the match?
Okay, it wasn't great. I mean, it's nothing on Sky and Kai's end. I mean, they did okay, but Tamina, and I called Dana Brooke Dana Botch. I mean, it is what it is, but it was just a normal acting match, pretty much.
All right, next you have for the United States Championship, Bobby Lashley versus Ciampa. I really like this match. I was looking forward to this match all week. I like what they're doing with Ciampa. I mean, they're pushing him, but they're pushing him the right way. They're not trying to say, we're gonna put him in the main event. We're gonna have him beat Roman. Like, no, they're not doing that. There's a right way and there's a wrong way to push people, especially mid-carders. Like, I was listening. RJ just recently brought back his podcast. It's RJ and the Savage Squad show. You guys should check it out. It's really good. Yeah, he had a friend on named Andrew, another Andrew, but I'm Drew. He's Andrew. His friend Andrew brought up a good point about Orange Cassidy, where I'm not an Orange Cassidy fan, and you guys know that, but he made an interesting point where they try to push Orange Cassidy in the wrong way by having him beat potential main eventers instead of having him beat, mid-card to lower-card talent. Because, much to my dismay, Orange Cassidy is a ratings draw, and he sells merch, and people like him. But they try to push him in the weirdest way, because they had him beat Adam Cole for no reason. They had him beat Powerhouse Hobbs, and they had him have a competitive match with Wardlow, which made no fucking sense. And going back to Ciampa, Ciampa is being pushed the right way. Ciampa is in the mid-card. He's having good matches, against a guy like Lashley, who Lashley's a beast. Ciampa is a small guy, but he looks believable as having matches against bigger guys, because Ciampa looks like a fucking nut job. Like, he's in really good shape. He looks like a really fit grandpa, if that's the best way to put it. Like, he looks like somebody that can hold his own in a fight. So this match was really good. Ciampa is more of a mat wrestler. Like, he's not a Gargano. He's not, like most guys, he's gonna do flips. A fit grandpa. Like, he's a mat wrestler. He's an old school wrestler, and he came out honoring Harley Grace, who I like what they're doing with the U.S. title tournament. Like, the vignettes where they're showing importance to the U.S. title. So good. So again, good match. I honestly thought that Ciampa would win, mainly due to the fact that I think Lashley is above the U.S. title. Because I think he really should be in the main event picture. Just that ovation he got at Hell in a Cell, where people were just cheering for him, and all of a sudden he takes a WWE title out of the crowd and starts holding it. And, he gets a big reaction everywhere he goes. So I thought this would have been the perfect time to take the title off of him and just have Ciampa be the U.S. champion. But, regardless, I like the match. Match of the night. Might even be a match of the year candidate, in my opinion. But what did you think about the match?
Damn good match. It was a damn good match. The crowd was into it the entire time, right? You can tell that the crowd is starting to notice Ciampa and appreciate what he can do, right? My idea was, because they were in Cleveland, I had a couple ideas prior to Raw that this should have main evented, right? And we will get into the actual main event on what happened, on why the main evented. But if this were to main event, it would have been a great time to bring back Giant Gargano, to have Ciampa win, and back Giant Gargano, and to have a stare down. Boom, there's your mid-card feud right there. That would be our perfect. But obviously, WWE and Giant Gargano, they haven't came to any agreements yet, and I really think that Gargano's going back to WWE. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Triple H is back in charge. Like, oh yeah, Gargano, you're coming back, right? That's happening, just not yet. But the fact that it did main event, I was like, okay, well, Ciampa's losing here, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Ciampa losing, just because of the fact that you don't need to have Ciampa to win the title yet. You just need to make him a credible threat. Once you make him a credible threat, once he wins the United States title, wherever it's against Lashley, wherever it's against, someone else, it's gonna mean, I won't say it's gonna mean more, but it's gonna be even more believable at that time, right? And Ciampa, he doesn't need to be a main eventer. He doesn't need to win the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship, right? He can make that United States title mean something, right? And he can have great matches and great feuds, and knowing Triple H, he may even want to, have a main event of a pay-per-view with the United States Championship, with the Intercontinental Championship, right? If the feud's done right. Because we've seen that before in wrestling, where mid-card titles main event pay-per-views. Right. I mean, I believe Miz and Dolph Ziggler main evented. I think it's 2016, 2017. If I can remember right.
I know what you're talking about, but they didn't main event. I know what you're talking about. No Mercy 2016?
2016, they didn't main event. Oh no, it was Orton. You know what? It was Orton
and Luke Harper.
Orton and Wyatt. Orton and Wyatt. Yeah. It was Orton and Wyatt. So, okay, yeah. But yeah, that pay-per-view should have main evented Ziggler and Miz, though. By the way, but anyway, to my dismay. But but regardless, though, I really think that if Triple H really wants to, he could. If the story's there, right? If the heat's there, main event a pay-per-view with a mid-card title. And I would not be opposed to that. Again, it has to be a special circumstance, but if Ciampa wins the title and Gargano comes in and they try to relive that NXT feud again, right? It has to be the correct story. It can't just be, hey, I'm back. Oh, I want to feud against you because fight forever. Like, no, it can't be that. It has to be a good reason. Back in 2018, it was a great reason DIY broke up, right? Mm-hmm. Or 2017, whatever it was. But regardless, though, I really think that at the end of the day, Ciampa, he's gonna be somebody on the main roster, and that mid-card title is man, like I just can't wait until that mid-card title feels like the IC title back from like 1998, 1999, when someone wins that title, they're gonna be potentially next in line to win a WWE Championship or a Universal Championship.
Right, and again, just talking about the whole subject is just, I'm glad that they're making the mid card titles seem more interesting and not just like, oh, here's a match. We're focused on Roman. We're focused on. We're kind of focused on Rollins, blah, blah, blah. But I thought Gargano was going to come back on Monday because, it's Cleveland, so it would have made more sense. But I also think, like, Triple H or maybe somebody was just like, it's too obvious. Let's bring him back at a better time and not just like, hey, I'm back and I challenge you. Like, have it mean something. Have it like, have Gargano join Ciampa and the Miz. Like, let's have that be a faction. Like, let's have Miz kind of be a manager of that team. That would be really fucking cool. And then eventually Gargano and Ciampa, come to their senses, like, you know what, we actually don't need you anymore. We realized that, so that would be cool. So let's go on to the next match. Another really good wrestling match happened after this. Chad Gable versus Dolph Ziggler. Maybe I'm just used to watching Raw and SmackDown under the Vince regime, where matches would just happen and then it'd be like a 5-minute spectacle and interference would happen and boom, there's the end of the match. This got if anyone can tell me how long this match was, that'd be great. It felt like it was maybe 10 or 12 minutes, and they went out there and just wrestled. They had a really good, pure wrestling match, a good, not amateur, but I know Chad Gable is an amateur guy.
Mat-based, technical, yeah.
Yeah, technical, there you go. Dolph is an amateur guy, so these two just really went out there and had a really goddamn good match. And I think the crowd was just, I couldn't tell if the crowd just wasn't into the match or maybe they're trying to get into it, but they were just like, wait, what's going on? Is this a wrestling match? They're actually giving this match time and a purpose, and they're making it mean something. Are they possibly building a storyline? Are they having character development? I sometimes forget how good Dolph is, and it's amazing how good Chad is, because Chad has only been wrestling for he's only been in WWE professional wrestling for 5 or 6 years, 7 years.
Chad Gable, shoosh, man. Didn't mean to say that,
No.
but shoot, I want to say 2015. 2015 for sure, because he was there for NXT TakeOver Dallas, and that was 2016.
Right, and he was doing Kurt Angle stuff. He was doing the ankle lock. He almost did the angle slam, and it's just he's been billed as Kurt Angle Jr. and he was really goddamn good. He got to showcase how good he actually is in the ring, and Dolph reminded everybody, I'm still Dolph. I can still go out there and perform. And these two had a really goddamn good match. And again, I was almost shocked about how good they were, about how good this match was. So, what did you think about the match?
Very good match. Very good match. Chad Gable, he's fantastic. Always loved Chad Gable ever since American Alpha and NXT. Him and Jason Jordan, right? Very, very damn good wrestler, and people like us, we know how good he is, but just to the general public, they don't know how good he is. Dolph Ziggler, always loved Dolph Ziggler, man. He's probably one of the best sellers I've ever seen, and he's probably one of the best sellers I've ever seen, right? Yeah, his selling sometimes is too much, but it's wrestling, right? You know what I mean? Mr. Perfect oversold, right? But I mean, Shawn Michaels oversold, but it's Shawn Michaels, it's Dolph Ziggler. That's the way I look at it. So. The way, to your point with the crowd, the crowd, yeah, they didn't see that because, they're not used to that because they're not used to seeing matches like that. Just because of the fact that it was a Vince McMahon production. It was a Kevin Dunn production. It was a Bruce Pritchard production. They weren't used to that. They weren't used to seeing matches meaning something and, having investment. So that's going to come around. That's going to come around eventually, right? You have to retrain these casual fans to this is what professional wrestling is, guys. Okay, you're gonna see matches, you're gonna see rest holds, and you're gonna see bridges, and you're gonna see a struggle, right? It's not just from spot to spot to spot. This is a wrestling match here. So once these casual fans start to get trained per se, on how a Triple H match looks like, type of booking, type of production looks like, then eventually these fans are gonna be more in tune with it I would say give it 6 months to a year. This is something that we're not going to see happen overnight. But as far as that match is concerned, Gable and Ziggler, damn good match. I loved it. I won't say it's like a match of the year or anything, but it was a good match, good showcase.
For the wrestling purists, you'll enjoy it.
Right, exactly.
Next is the main event: Miz versus AJ Styles. This was made during the night when AJ Styles came out and took out the Miz from the earlier match with Ciampa and Lashley, just for revenge from last week, where Miz cost AJ's match against Ciampa. It was an entertaining match. Was it a barn burner? No, but it was an entertaining match. One thing I thought that was kind of funny was when AJ was pulling out weapons from the bottom of the ring, and he pulls out a kendo stick, and he's like, and then he's pulling out other shit, and he's just like, and then he just pulls out tables, like, there we go. This is where I thought Gargano was going to come out, honestly, because I thought it was going to be a thing of like he's beating up Miz and he's beating up Ciampa. And I could hear the crowd like kind of getting hot for something. I'm like, wait, is Gargano coming out? And again, I'm not really a Gargano fan, but it was one of those things of like, it'd be cool if he came out. Like, it'd be pretty interesting if he came out. But we'll talk about why the crowd was pretty hot. But like, fun match. I like the spot where AJ is going for the phenomenal forearm and Miz just throws a chair at him. I'm like, okay, that was fun. And it looked like Miz was going to get the win, but no, AJ got the win. And, he was kind of out there killing time. And I'm like, okay, somebody's going to come out. Something's going to happen. And you can hear the crowd start to kind of get excited about something. And all of a sudden, you see what looks like a fan at ringside getting taken down. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Because usually when a fan is trying to, bum rush, the barricade and get into the ring, usually the camera will just cut away. But for this one, it's like, I'm trying to explain it. So like, usually whenever they have a plant in the crowd, they'll acknowledge the plant. Like, a fan has been attacked. A fan is trying to get in the ring. Like, and it's a plant. It's a developmental wrestler. With this one, they kind of played it. They played it pretty coolly, where it was like, AJ is like, what's going on over here? And you see the crazed fan, quote unquote, being taken away and being, taken away by security. And at first you see a guy in a wrestling mask. And then you hear the fans go crazy. You're like, wait, what's that? And I didn't see it. I didn't see it until somebody mentioned it online. And it was Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis is back, which I'm happy for it because I like Dexter Lumis. He was a guy that, again, on the main roster, he would have fit well because he has a good look, but he doesn't need to go out there and have wrestling matches. He was a character. And also, he didn't need to talk. And that's perfect because we're all worried about, creative, giving wrestlers, bad scripts and bad, lines to say. And it's like, it's perfect for Dexter Lumis because he doesn't talk. So, and then he got released, so I'm just like, it was odd when he got released. So, what was your whole opinion about the match? Like, first of all, what was your whole opinion about the match, and also the return of Dexter Lumis?
Match I thought was good. It was a standard WWE main event. It wasn't, it wasn't fantastic, but I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was a good cap of good night wrestling for Raw. As far as the more important thing for me is Dexter Lumis. So this is the third person come back to WWE that was let go from the company, or walked away. Right? Okay. Not Io Shirai because she was still signed. She was rumored to leave, but she ended up staying. Karrion Kross and now Dexter Lumis. This is fantastic for Dexter Lumis because he is a character. He is a character that's going to thrive on the main roster. I was used to this as far as what Triple H does. Anything that you watch going forward, promos, anything, watch the background. Watch the background. Watch the background because there may be a hidden story within something. Because we saw earlier in the day early in the day, but early in the show, Kevin Owens cutting that promo backstage. What was going on behind Kevin Owens? And that was one thing that I saw was like, oh god, Triple H is telling the story. There's gonna be no reason why on TV why there's a car right smoking and you see Doudrop and Nikki Ash, just talking to the police or back there or whatnot, right? Like Triple H is not gonna put that on TV if that was legit, right? Mm-hmm. And we saw was it? It was Asuka. It was Asuka and Alexa Bliss, right? Talking. We see the car being towed away by authorities, and we saw police start running by, coming into the into the feet there, right? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, what the heck is going on? Who is this, right? And again, we heard earlier in the day, Sean Ross Sapp, 2 for 2 with this. Potentially coming back to WWE is Dexter Lumis. In talks. Coming back. He shows up on that night. On Friday. Hey! Aaron Cross and Scarlett may be coming back to WWE. Versus saying. In talks. Come back the same night. I'm not saying that, Sean Ross Sapp's tweets, someone may be coming back, on the same night. But 2 for 2 so far on that. So I'm going to be very intrigued looking on his Twitter feed, kind of see like what's going to happen next, right? The way that they did it, right, is just pure Triple H, man. Pure Triple H production, where you don't focus on it, right? You see somebody in the back. You heard, I believe it was either Corey Graves or Byron Saxton saying, is that Dexter Lumis? But you can barely hear him say it. I'm like, god damn WWE. Like, you guys, man, like, come on, man. Like, you guys know how to tell a freaking story, man. You guys know how to build intrigue. This makes you excited to watch what's going to happen on SmackDown. This is making you excited to what's going to happen on Raw, right? We haven't had that in years. Probably since the CM Punk pipe bomb, the Summer of Punk, my opinion, or maybe the Yes Movement. I'll give it to the Yes Movement, right? With going into WrestleMania 30. But man, it's like Triple H, as he's technically been in the head of creative over the past 3 or 4 weeks, but really it started last week because it was right after SummerSlam. He wanted to finish. The Vince McMahon storylines, the Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard, wrapping up those storylines, those feuds and whatnot. And it's like, okay, now it's time for my hands to get dirty. Okay, we got Dakota Kai, we got Io Sky back. Okay. Alright, Friday, let's bring back Karrion Kross. Okay, Monday, let's bring back, Dexter Lumis. Like, man, if you guys should start seeing tea leaves and reading between the tea leaves of what's gonna happen next, because I can see if I don't know how you guys watch NXT. I'm an NXT watcher as well. Next week at Heatwave, you got Santos Escobar versus Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo wins. That means that Santos Escobar is going to be gone from NXT. He must leave NXT. And I don't know about Legado del Fantasma, but if Santos Escobar's win, then basically Legado's freed, right? Mm-hmm. You can see a scenario where Tony D wins and Santos Escobar comes up to the main roster. You can see him coming to the main roster and being used well in the mid-card division. I can see Carmelo Hayes lose the North American Championship next week, coming up to the main roster. You can see Mandy Rose losing to Zoe Stark, and I think that's definitely happening. And I can see Mandy Rose coming back up to the main roster. So there's a lot of movement being made right now. There are some people who are not happy, obviously. We talked about those people earlier, right? But at the end of the day, Triple H, he has to make decisions. He has to make this show exciting. He has to make this show something that everybody wants to watch week to week to week to week. And that's what he did in NXT, all the way from, 2013 all the way through, I would say at least 2020, right? Made NXT a must-watch show, right? He he's gonna try and make that for the main roster. And once he gets the main roster done, he's like, hey, let me fix what the hell's going on the main roster. Let me fix SmackDown. Let me fix Raw. Then he's gonna go back down to NXT, or not down to NXT, but he's gonna like put his focus on NXT and fixing that show. Because that show right now, I like it. I like it, but I don't like it. So, but back to the Dexter Lumis thing. This just opens up the floodgates on what he can do. I think he's gonna feud against maybe AJ Styles, right? There's a story there with the car, right? Like, hell, what the hell happened to the car? Why was it smoking? Like what's the story behind that? And that's something that we're gonna see, in the up and coming weeks.
Hey guys, this ends the free portion of the show, but if you want to listen to the full unedited version of this, make sure you head over to my Patreon. For just $5 a month gets you stuff like this, as well as new and original content.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.